This is your family-focused conversation on PlusTvAfrica, and you're welcome. That is, if you're just joining us. Today, we touch on the institution of marriage. Is it underrated or overrated? A woman's advocate and business entrepreneur, Ezinne Kufre-Ekanem, is here to speak from the perspective of both partners, the husband and the wife. Surprising, isn't it?
And from there, Chizoba Ofebu, host of the Culture Conversation segment, continues with an engaging and interesting young and proud Nigerian. After that, we shall usher in our final guest, the pain doctor, Tosin Imogiem. Imogeme?
Imogeme.
Okay, Imogeme. And he's a wellness expert who will address how to heal from pain. It's a package especially put together just for you, believe me.
Well, I can't wait to get started. In the meantime, Helen, let me ask, what is trending that's worth our attention? I'll tell you what.
The fuel.
How did you guess?
The fuel situation.
The fuel situation is trending, really trending.
Lights are better.
Yeah. Okay. It was even better a few months ago for me.
Okay.
In the last week or so, maybe there's a...
Lights are better, but the bad boys are more on the streets in Lagos. We heard that somewhere in Orile, just a few days ago, the bus transit, the Lagos, bus transit was kidnapped, kind of attacked, not kidnapped, attacked, and all the passengers, there were robbers who just, stopped the vehicle
and raided.
Raided. That's the word.
Well, that's
right here in Orile.
That is sad.
So we're asked to be very, very careful now, more attentive and observant, of our environment.
Especially now that things are really difficult for people.
And it's getting close to the end of the year too,
Oh, wow.
when
at this
time of the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's been confusion everywhere. The beauty of it is that we have a diversity of opinions in the public domain, and one way or the other we're able to resolve our issues. I would like to drift towards a society that is known for credibility and accountability someday.
And so much noise also coming from Abuja, the senators' allowance and the House of Reps salaries and everything, so confusion everywhere. All I believe and wish to see at this point is that Judgment Day will surely come. There is God.
There is God.
Does that sound is that familiar to you here? All right, so you're still watching Today with John and Helen live on Plus TV, a program that speaks to all of human endeavors with the intention of bringing solutions and answers in the most interactive manner.
And to set the ball rolling is a conversation bordering on family and marriage. Today, we shall attempt to answer the question, is the marriage institution underrated or overrated? Let's meet our guests, women's advocate, business entrepreneur, and broadcaster, Ezinne Kufre-Ekanem. She's a passionate interior designer and author, amongst other things, and the word dynamic aptly describes her. She embodies wife, mother, patriot, and more. Our first guest is a multifaceted entrepreneur, creative writer, on-air personality, and motivational speaker, all rolled in one, with literary contributions such as Up You, When Adversity Strikes, FIGHT, Fight, and others that make her a go-to person for many who are seeking answers in life's challenges.
Exactly.
Ezinne's story is one of resilience, empowerment, and unwavering dedication that we believe will inspire you too. Hello, Ezinne. I'm glad to have you on the show.
Good morning, Helen. Ladies first, all the time.
Good
morning,
John. Ladies first, after gentlemen.
It's good to be back on your set. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you. Always one of my never say no sisters. Up you.
And
Up you. And up me too.
Up you too.
So, Ezinne, well, they say ladies first after gentlemen, so I'll go first.
Okay. So let's start this way. That your journey is a testament
after gentlemen, I said,
to resilience and empowerment. How has this shaped your views on the institution of marriage? English is not my mother tongue, so I didn't understand that.
Okay, I forgive you.
Thank you very much. I love both of you so much. The chemistry, dynamics is really nice.
Thank you.
Resilience and what did you say? Empowerment.
Yes.
For me, those are not just words that shape my thoughts or my belief or my perception about marriage, but words that shape everything I know about life. You may not have entered marriage being resilient, but resilience is something you need to acquire in the journey of marriage. What is marriage? Marriage is a partnership of two adults who willingly, knowingly, two people of sound mind came together and said, we are going to become one unit and do life together. These two persons have their personal dreams, but they have chosen to come together to also pursue and forge ahead on common dreams. So there is the personal dream and then there is the shared dream, And so, because you're coming together as adults, it therefore means that you've lived a part of your life without the other person that you're now welding or yoking or merging yourself to. So you already have your ideas, your thoughts, and how you think things should run. But now you say, okay, I want to do this with someone else. Usually what happens is that we do that, we take that decision because that person makes our heart skip a bit. But marriage is more than your heart skipping a bit. Marriage is responsibility.
Yes.
And the marriage happens while life is lifing, like my husband would normally say. And so when life is lifing and you are a married couple, then you have to have resilience. Because the ebbs will come, the highs will come, the lows will come. And so for me, it's being able to share the pains, the ups and downs of life, weather it and then come out stronger. It's being able to also encourage and support each other so that your personal dreams do not die. And also being able to be there to support the common dream that the two of you have birthed. So that for me is resilience. And you really cannot have this resilience if you're not empowered. Okay. And empowerment is something that comes from inside of you. You may not have gotten to the zenith of empowerment, as it were, but as a woman or a man wanting to be married and take on the responsibility of looking after the next person, you must have some form of empowerment. And also avoid being asked, what did you bring to the table?
Okay.
Now, so I feel more comfortable calling you princess.
That's fine. That's fine. That's really who I am.
So tell me now, women empowerment. I mean, you've made your statement, in women empowerment. I mean, we've followed you over the years, and we see that you've been able to drum up a lot of experiences from women, from your interactions with them. So tell me now, do you think that our perception of women's empowerment, does it impair or assist the marriage institution? Because there's this liberation, equity, and equality thing about women empowerment. Does it help, does it impair, or does it assist the institution of marriage?
John, your question is quite leading, but I'm not going there with you. So I'm going to answer your question. Okay, so this is what I have to say. We all know that saying that goes like, the choice of who you marry either makes you or mars you. It is very important that you open your eyes in making a choice of a life partner. It's important that you have conversations before you decide who you want to marry. One of the questions I asked my husband before I got married is, why do you want to marry me?
Okay.
And he was able to answer.
And not someone else.
Yes, there are so many women, prettier, taller, smarter, all that, even those that speak your language and everything. Why me? His answer, when you ask this of your intending spouse, the answer you get should tell you the reason why the person is opting for you, and should also tell you who this person that is opting for you is. And then you can go back and say, do I like the reason why he wants to marry me?
Yeah.
Do I think this reason why he wants to marry me is enduring? Wow. Can I scale up this reason that he wants to marry me over time? you know. And then you ask yourself, this person that wants to marry me for this reason, is it the kind of person I want to travel with for the rest of my life? I always tell women, empowerment or not, liberation or not, your choice of who you spend the rest of your life with is your personal gift to yourself. So it is best for you to sit back, take your time, and be sure that this is the best you can offer yourself per time. And if you do not find that best, I don't care how long it takes you, keep looking. I am of the Igbo stock, and how we do it back home is they do arranged marriages. A father will meet your father, and that. I kept rejecting and rejecting to the point that my father thought I was never going to get married because, and my excuses were just very funny. I'll say too short, too tall. I never say, yes, I never say more than that, you know. And one day he said, "What are you looking for?" I said, "I'm looking for someone that may seeing you gives me satisfaction. I see you, whether we eat, we don't eat, I'm happy. You bring me joy. I can have a conversation with you. I am sapiosexual. And so if we cannot have a conversation, then there is no relationship." So when I eventually brought my husband home, all he said was, "Is this the one?" Because he was lanky as hell. And there was, I mean, it didn't look like it was going to amount to anything, but I knew that I could hold conversation with this person 5 hours and not be bored. And for me, that was what I was looking for. So whether we're doing women liberation now, yes, women need to be liberated really, because some of the shackles society has put on them and some of the shackles we women have put on ourselves. So we have to emancipate ourselves from ourselves and then emancipate ourselves from society as well. So whether we're doing women's liberation or whatever, the important thing is to ensure that you've gifted yourself the best spouse that you can gift yourself, and then that you're willing to put in the work to make it work. Because marriage is work.
So thank you for not answering my question. Because I really wanted to know. Now it's a yes or no.
Okay.
Is this women emancipation impairing or helping marriages?
It's a 50-50. Okay. It depends on the maturity of the women in question and the dynamics of the particular relationship under review.
And even the partner too.
Yeah, that's something dynamics.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay, so I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
I can work with that.
All right, so I watched the movie yesterday. And this is a pretty girl, educated, very focused. But she gets into the marriage and the man says, "I've paid your salary, I bought you over, I bought your mommy, I rented an apartment for you and your mother and your sister," and he was very abusive. And she would run to the mother and he says, "Where are you? Where do you think you're coming? Go back to your husband. Go back to your husband." You know, I stopped watching that movie because I knew what the end probably would be. They'll come one day and find her corpse in the house. That's a story for another day. In your opinion, why do some people view marriage as overrated? And how does this perspective align with the challenges that many couples face today?
As we were telling that story, I was like, I
know.
See, if you're in such a relationship, flee.
At what point?
Just flee. What you want to do is to do life, not to be carried away in a body bag. Having said that, what was your question again?
My question was
overrated
or underrated?
You know, yesterday I posted about being on the show, and someone came under the post and said, "Yeah, women overrate marriages."
Women do.
Yes, and the men underrate marriages because the women are excited that they're finally getting married, and the men are like, "We're going into bondage."
Oh boy.
That was her perspective. And I told her that I was going to share it on the show today, and I just did. It depends on whose opinion you're looking at.
Okay.
Marriage can actually be overrated, and it also can be underrated. It depends on who you're talking to. But the truth is that what happens or what makes this come about is the fact that you come into marriage with expectations.
Yes.
Expectations that maybe you didn't even share with your spouse or your intending spouse. So you just have these expectations, and then when they're not being met, you begin to say marriage is underrated and all of that. And I'll tell you something very seriously. We saw our mothers, my generation, we saw our mothers say things like, your father is very useless. I'm just here because of you people. If not for you people, I would have gone. And then you are looking at this, your mother. She didn't call out your father one day. She didn't report him to the Umunas. Yeah. She didn't also even leave. But every day she just drums it into your ear by her action. When your father is not there, your father is a very useless man. But for you, I would have left. So you grew up with that toxicity. You grew up with that thought. And then you come out now in this space. You find people putting all over social media, men are scum. So already, even if you're not actively looking for it, it's somewhere in your subconscious. Yes. So therefore, you find a spouse and you're married, and the day he does one thing wrong, what jumps into your head? Men are scum. Your father is an idiot. I would have left since. And then so from there, you now start building up your own attitude, and then you now start saying to yourself, why did I even come into this marriage? It's underrated. But if you are a self-aware woman, and you know why you came or contracted a marriage relationship, you didn't contract it to fulfill obligation. You did not contract it because you are in a situationship and you were looking for a financier. You contracted the marriage because you met, quote and unquote, your soulmate. Someone you think you can grow with, someone you think will support you, someone you think that if I hang out with this person for the rest of my life, I'll become the best version of myself. Someone you think you can be productive together with and affect society. Someone you think you will raise awesome children with and train them up rightly as well to become productive children in the society and all of that. Someone you can travel the world with, see things, have fun, make memories. If that is the reason why you entered the marriage and you shared these reasons with this person and the person buys into this vision and you're both simultaneously, concurrently helping each other grow and become, and you have created a space in your marriage where you're seen, you're heard, you feel loved, then of course marriage will be overrated. Awesome. When they talk marriage, you say, I have a husband.
Okay, Princess, just like you shared the promo and you got a reaction, I also did. Yes. And the first thing they said was, why did you pick Ezinne Kufre-Ekanem? No, you should have picked a younger person. So you know what happened? Yeah. And I thought about it and I said, true. That Ezinne is likely to represent
one generation that likes marriage,
and
right?
And then we have this new generation now that doesn't give a hoot about the values. So what would your reaction be to that?
But you see, I have a 25-year-old daughter, right? And we have conversations. When she graduated, I said, okay now, so we're done. So he said, don't do that African mother thing with me.
I wonder.
Yeah? And I said, what's the African modern thing? I just said, now that you've graduated, what next? And she says, well, Mom, I'm going to travel the world for 1 year, and then next year, I will start thinking of a relationship. So you see, now the children are more aware. They know what they want. So they're not pandering to whether
so for them, marriage is overrated.
No, not overrated. But if
they want to be ready.
They want to be ready for it. And you see, my daughter says to me, I want to marry somebody of my equal, of my financial equal, my class, I'm not looking up, I'm not looking down, so that we can pull our weight together. Awesome. Yes? Even now, if we say that our children do not have values, it is our fault. And I'll tell you why. We have not modeled marriage for them. Okay. We do not show pure open affection, normal one, in front of our children. True. They haven't seen daddy hug mommy. They haven't seen just because. You see, let me give you an example. One day, my husband took us out. My love language is what? Take me out. I mean, go to a restaurant and spoil me. Yes, that's one of my love languages. So my husband took us out, and we had a good time. And as we were going, I kept saying, okay, thank you so much. I had a good time. My daughter was in the back seat. And then she goes like, so mommy, just because they took you to GRA to Isaac John to eat Chinese, you have said 52 thank yous. See, in my time, if my husband doesn't fly me in a private jet to China to eat the Chinese,
expectations are different.
Do you understand? But you see, that was a teaching moment. And I said, Whether you're flown in a PJ or you're taken to China to eat, the fact is someone thought about you and the person took you out so that you can enjoy what you like. And for that, you should say thank you. And that's where the underrating and overrating comes from. Because we don't even appreciate little gestures of kindness, thoughtfulness, compassion. You do, see, we judge our spouse by our strength. So because I can move mountain for you, I expect my spouse to move mountain. Maybe he doesn't have the strength to move mountain. Maybe he has the strength to just be available, to be there. And one thing about relationship, nobody draws 100% per time. No two people in a marriage pull 100% per time.
Wow.
So when one person, if there's a situation and there's someone who can pull 100%, pull the 100% because it's a shared vision. And if it's time, something else can happen, and that person that pulled 100% yesterday can't pull anything, it's okay. The next person who can will do it. Yeah. Once we understand that marriage is a partnership, it's not a competition. It is not, I have come, take care of me. Let me tell you, I made a mistake. I got married on June 4th, 1998. And as soon as we got home, I said, Kufre, now we are married, make me happy.
Can you imagine?
Do you understand? Because my own expectation was, once you get married, you become very happy. You don't have any problems. Your husband takes all your problems. And then the young man looks at me and says, girl, that's not my job.
Awesome.
Do you understand? What my job is to enhance your happiness. So you must first find your happy and then put your happy on this table. Then I will now come and say, this is how we are going to enhance the happy. But if you're really a very sad person and very unhappy,
there's very little I can do.
Yeah, exactly. So we come with all expectations, and then when they're not being met, we start talking about
say it's overrated or
and underrated.
Wow.
I think marriage is what it is. Marriage is an institution. It's a covenant.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so we're winding down this conversation, and let's quickly talk about your upcoming conference, which touches on overcoming life's challenges. How do you see the themes, of resilience and fortitude playing out in the context of marriage?
Well,
you talked a little bit about the resilience aspect.
So the conference is, the theme of the conference is Through the Fire, Triumphing in Adversity. And that is in itself is fortitude. It takes fortitude for you to grow through the fire and then triumph. The thing is that most times when things get hauled at us in a relationship or a marriage situation, we tend to think it's come to kill us. But no, it hasn't come to kill us. It's not everything that comes to kill us. Some come to refine us. True. I know that, in a couple of years past, a lot was thrown at me. And I thought it had come to kill me. But you see, sitting here today and looking back, I think what this person sitting before you is a better version of that woman that stuff was hauled at 4 years ago. So you grow through the process, and it's fortitude that keeps you. And a lot of people have been known to run away from their marriages when what happened to me happened. Yes? Most people even came to me to say, are you going to go through this stuff? I got all that. But you see, the fact is, you remember the vows you took. You took them for better, for worse. In sickness and in health. So you stay there, and it's fortitude. And that's what we want to teach the women at the conference coming up August 31. You stay true. When you're in hellfire, don't stop moving. Don't run away. Go through. Fact is, life is such that if you don't go through, it gives you the same lesson again in another version.
Okay, still on this conference, I don't have an invitation yet, so
you're a man.
It's a women's thing.
Every year you say the same thing. You're a man.
And it's a women's conference.
Anyhow,
it would be nice to have the men,
I'm told that.
Well,
at some point.
Let's see what happens. Something might just be happening. Let's not give the cat out of the bag yet.
Finally, as the convener of this women's event that's coming up, which we all look forward to, what would be the key message that you'd like, just to wrap up the show, that you'd like to share with couples, especially women, about navigating the complexities of marriage?
My key message would be Marriage is a love decision. Marriage is a verb. If you ask me, it's something you get into and you begin to do the work. You have to be very intentional. You have to know exactly what you want. And then you have to communicate. See, the earliest you got married, for instance, might be 21, and maybe your husband is 24. Yeah? So you lived apart for a while, and you're just coming together, and you want to fuse into a meaningful unit. You have to communicate. And communication is, I'm speaking to you, so you have to look at me, meet me eyeball to eyeball, and listen to me. And then do what? Repeat what I said.
Wow. It's not a work pass.
No. Because you see, you're talking to your spouse and he's saying, and he's reading paper, or he's on his
the phone.
You know?
Okay, you know what? I asked for one word. He was giving me two. So
Communication and what again?
So we're teaching women,
Attention.
basically what one teach men is what? You know what? It's a long haul. It's not a destination.
long-
Marriage is not a destination. It's actually a journey of a lifetime.
Yes.
And so you need to be resilient and you need to find fortitude and at the same time ensure that your love keeps burning. And then you'll be fine.
okay, so
Wow.
it's been a delight sharing with you. You know all that you've come here to put on our table, and we want to thank you again, Ezinne, for being with us as always. You know, to help us unravel this very, very knotty issue.
Yeah,
of marriage institution.
And Ezinne says it like it is. You know, that's why I love you. No pretensions whatsoever. A lot of value addition there. Talking about marriage. Is it underrated? Is it overrated? And thank you once again for being here today.
Thank you very much.
We wish you the very best with the conference, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
And I hope that you'll be there. Oh, good.
I will come.
Good.
The institution of marriage, underrated or overrated, with Ezinne Kufre-Ekanem. Moving on, it's time for Culture Conversations with Chizabam Ofebu. Remember, the pain doctor, Tosi Moyeme, is already in the house to help us with the tips on how to heal from all manner of pain. Before then, let's join Chizabam Ofebu.